Hello and welcome back to our small farm. Today is going to be a really exciting day because I finally got around to finishing the setup for the fastcutcnc plasma cutting table, and I want to give it a test run right now. So this is sheetcam, and just for testing purposes I'm using the 345 test file that was included on the device. Right now I have 1/4-inch plate on here, which I had floating around. The plasma cutter is at the very end of the table on the edge. So as per setup instructions, everything is grounded and connected, I think. So let me export this into a G-code file and let's load this into fastcut. But that's pretty much it. So as you can see, it loaded the file here, and let me actually run a dry run and see that that works. Look at that! What a beautiful cut! So this first cut here, 1/4-inch plate, and as you can see, the cut is, the arc lines there like very straight. So now I can actually move on to my very first project, because what I actually wanted to learn on is something slightly different. So let me get my MacBook out and let me show you. So this is what I want to test cut actually. So what I designed here is a small vise mount that I can bolt to my fixture table, and this way I have my vise always accessible. Fairly simple and straightforward stuff with Fusion 360. The chamfers here at the edges, I'll make them obviously afterwards because I have an air chamfer tool. So the only thing I need to do now is take some measurements to make sure that when I originally designed this stuff, that it'll just fit. So let me do that, and then I'll add some tabs here on the side to help with assembly. Just one tab here and one tab here, so that that stuff will properly be seated, and then we can actually use this as an example what you can cut, or what I can cut from now on. So that's going to be very exciting. Back in Mach 3, so I exported my Fusion 360 design, one side, top and back. I remember during the training that you're supposed to cut the holes at a slower speed, but I didn't find the option. So might maybe make a V2, not quite sure yet, but let's go with this and actually see the results, because I'm so eager to see this go. Go to jig. So I'm going to reuse the same position as before, because this should cut here. So we are on a short break. The fan I have running to actually suck all of that dirty air out. It's unfortunately a 20-inch, and I need a 12-inch, and also because I don't have like an extension for it yet, it blows all of the dirt out and then with the current wind condition all of the dirt gets pushed back in. which is really unfortunate. So I'll actually open up a side door here and just wait a bit for this to clear. So something on my list to buy is a fan that is just 12 inches with, you know, one of those extensions so that I can actually push that air to the sides and away, because holy shit, that is smog. Let's take a look at what this thing cut. So this is the thing I just grabbed a while ago, or a second, and you can see, I guess, why the slower speed for the holes would be better. Take a look. Not a lot of dross, so the settings are actually quite nice. So I should have dog boned these, so that this stuff will actually fit. So I will need to do some grinding here to fit that, but could be worse. So this is the back plate, which would need to go here. That's nice too. And then one more side. So there's a little bit of setting for me to play, because you can see that these things, or maybe the torch isn't perfectly in the 90 degrees. You can see that there's a slight taper to these elements. And also, I guess I should have I don't know how to mirror in sheetcam yet, so there's more for me to learn. So this will need a little bit of cleanup here to make this fit. I think this is due to the fact that I used the 130 inches per minute cutting speed. I think that was a little bit too aggressive here. But, you know, with me cleaning that up and a little bit of grinding, I actually think that I can use this. So this was my first cutting test. I already knew going in that I didn't know how to, I should have adjusted the cutting speed for the holes. So just reaffirming to see. And everything else I should make. So for the next iteration here, I'm going to dog bone these, because dog bones in general allow the tool to make circles, and then you get better results there. But look at that. I mean, wow, let me clean this up. I'm like so excited right now. So there we have it mounted. The table is actually, the concrete here isn't perfectly level, so I'll have to put a shim there, but this is quite interesting. I double accounted for the table width, because this table here, I modified that to be 1/2 inch top, Here, unfortunately, as you can see, it protrudes because, well, I accounted for the new height twice. It's not beautiful, but I mean, this was a learning project for me anyways. So this is how it looks like in air quotes assembled. Just some bolts here. The bolt pattern at the bottom is great. Works amazing, exactly as I wanted to. These bolts here with a little bit of grinding go through the bottom plate too. And now I can use this, which is great. Like originally this thing used to sit here, and then I had to, well, whenever I had a project going, and excuse the mess right now, I'm like still reorganizing the workshop because I had to make so much space for the table. I always had to unbolt it and bolt it again. That was a big hassle. So that's great. I might cut a second version of this, make it slightly wider, because the bolts here at the bottom, they're like actually really tight, and fix that 1/4 inch gap here. And maybe I don't cut a second version at all. Why did I do all of this? Besides obviously learning about the plasma cutter. So for the plasma cutter, I hooked up, like in air quotes, a permanent air supply at the ceiling of my workshop. And I'm missing some staples, but that's not the point. The point is that here's an air outlet and it's hissing. So I have to get this into the vise and tighten it a little bit more. So that's what I'm going to do now. Amazing success for me. The table works great. I love it. I'm really glad I got this for the farm. And now it's just a few more learning projects before I can actually start tackling something really big. So stay tuned.